I am Siraj-ud-Daulah, the last independent Nawab of Bengal. If you are hearing my voice today, it is because the echoes of betrayal and battle still resonate in the winds of history. They buried me on July 2nd, 1757, but no grave can hold the truth. What you've been told about the Battle of Plassey is only part of the story. What happened on June 23rd, 1757, was not just the fall of a Nawab, but the rise of an empire built on deceit, treachery, and the selling of souls. What I lost on that day was not only a battle, but the future of my people. I was defeated not by the British alone, but by those I trusted most. Listen closely, for I speak to you not as a ruler, but as a man betrayed by his own. This is not a tale of glory or defeat. It is a lesson in loyalty, betrayal, and the cost of trusting the wrong hands. Today you will hear the real story of the Battle of Plassey from my own lips. In April of 1756, I inherited the throne of Bengal, the richest province in all of India. I was only 23, but the weight of centuries of Mughal rule rested on my shoulders. My kingdom, from the fertile fields of the Ganges to the bustling ports of Calcutta, thrived under my reign. We were prosperous and our coffers overflowed with wealth, but power and riches, I soon learned, attract enemies, both foreign and within. Cut to British ships arriving at the port of Calcutta in 1756, unloading not just goods but cannons and soldiers. British traders smile as they shake hands with Indian merchants. The British East India Company came as traders, seeking our riches, and at first they appeared harmless. But soon they grew bold, fortifying their trading post in Calcutta without my permission. Their walls rose higher, and their cannons pointed not toward the sea, but inland, toward my kingdom. I could not allow such defiance in my own land. In June 1756, I marched on Calcutta with my army. We overwhelmed them, forcing their surrender. Fort William fell into my hands, and I believed I had taught them a lesson in respect. But while I celebrated my victory, the British were not idle. They had tasted defeat, but they hadn't given up. Robert Clive, the man who would soon command their forces, saw an opportunity, not in battle, but in betrayal. They found their way to Mir Jafar, my commander-in-chief, my most trusted general, a man whose sword was supposed to defend Bengal, but whose loyalty could be bought for the price of a throne. Mir Jafar was promised my throne in exchange for his betrayal. And he wasn't the only one. The traitor bankers, the Jagat Seths, and other noblemen conspired with the British. They sold their honor and betrayed their country for gold and power. The enemy wasn't just outside my walls, it was within. The fateful day of June 23rd, 1757 arrived. My army, 50,000 strong, faced the British force of barely 3,000. On paper, I should have crushed them. But what I didn't know was that the battle had already been decided in the dark corners of Mir Jafar's treachery. As the rain fell, it rendered my cannons useless. Our gunpowder was soaked, while the British, who had prepared for such conditions, kept their weapons dry. And then I gave the order for Mir Jafar to advance. But his men stood still. He had already sold his loyalty. I watched as my once mighty army fell into confusion and defeat, not because of the British, but because my own generals, my own people stood by and let it happen. The battle was lost before it even began, and my kingdom was slipping away from me. I fled that night, not out of fear, but in the hope that I could gather my remaining forces, that I could still save Bengal. But the betrayals were not over. The very people I trusted turned me over to Mir Jafar's men. Captured, humiliated, and betrayed, I was taken before the man who had once served me, now crowned as Nawab. On July 2nd, 1757, I was executed, murdered by the very men who had sworn their loyalty to me. The last independent Nawab of Bengal was no more, and with my death the fate of Bengal was sealed. The British took not just our wealth but our spirit. Bengal, once the jewel of India, became a mere pawn in their empire. What was lost that day was more than a kingdom. It was our independence, our dignity, our future. But the lesson of Plassey is not just about the fall of a Nawab. It is about the fragility of trust and the corrosive power of betrayal. History teaches us that treachery comes not only from your enemies, but from those you believe stand with you. Remember this: power is not in wealth, but in loyalty. Betrayal is the greatest enemy of all. Let my story serve as a warning, for without loyalty, even the strongest of empires will crumble. What happened in 1757 was not just my defeat. It was the beginning of a new era of subjugation for our people. Let us learn from the past, so it may never be repeated. If my story has inspired you, then please like this video and subscribe my channel for more stories.